Welcome to WP Constellations, a podcast exploration of the WordPress universe, brought to you by StellarWP. Welcome to WP Constellations from StellarWP, bringing you stories from around the WordPress universe. We call it the Stellarverse around here, but when you get beyond the StellarWP, it is the WP universe, and we love that. And today I'm really excited to be able to talk to Carrie Wheeler. Hey, Carrie, how are you?
Morning. Good to see you, Michelle.
It's so good to see you too. And I've been excited to have you come on as like the capstone of our year, because it's been a really stellar year. I'm going to lean into the puns today. It's been a stellar year at StellarWP.
It has been stellar. It has been interstellar, if you might.
Exactly. Galactic even. Yes. And you are, of course, one of the stars here at StellarWP and Liquid Web, and it's just great to spend some time with you today. And actually, I'm just excited for people who don't already know you to know you and learn a little bit about you and what's been going on at StellarWP. So I would love for you to just give us a little bit about your journey in tech and what's brought you into your current role.
Well, I hate to give away my age, but I have now been in technology for 3 decades. And so I've seen a lot, and it's actually sometimes, when I reflect with my husband on our careers, we're both in technology. It's amazing the journey that we've been able to witness firsthand and participate in. I mean, how exciting is that? I grew up I have a business degree. I had no intention of going into technology, and I was hired by a consulting firm. And my first day, they handed me a book on COBOL coding and said, "Welcome to consulting." And so I learned how to code. I was terrible at it. But what I ended up finding out that I was actually quite good at was more design, architecture, and over time that evolved into what really I bring to the technology space, which is translating business problems into technology solutions and translating technical speak to business solutions. And so really that's been the foundation of my career. And so I spent several years in consulting, and then spent about 2 decades in telecommunications. So I grew up at MCI, AT&T, and decided that while I loved it and I learned a lot, I decided that I really wanted to work with smaller businesses and in a smaller business, with small businesses, because you can see the impact you make every day. And it's one of the things I love most about Liquid Web family of brands and our Stellar brands is you get to see firsthand the amazing things that our customers are doing on our platform, and it's just so inspiring. And so that's been really enjoyable this last 10 years, working more closely with small and mid-sized businesses. But in terms of just that broad career, I mean, I can remember one of the first products I worked on was one of our first paging products, and you could get 140 characters a month for $69. And so to think about working on that project and that product, which was amazing and made a ton of money for MCI, to where we are now, right? Tweets are 1 billion a day and free. It's just been a great journey, and I've enjoyed every step of it. But I think I'm most pleased with where I am now and the people I'm working with now.
Yeah, and this year you became the president of Liquid Web, family of brands, which includes Stellar, Nexus, and Liquid Road, obviously, and then also Modern Tribe. So all of those things have kind of come together, and wow,
Yes.
it's been fun. It's been fun to. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think people know me. They know how much I love representation, and to have a woman sitting at the top of what we do here at Liquid Web makes me proud. So I don't know if I have the right to be proud of you, but I really am. So I just want you to know that.
Thank you. We have worked really hard to create diversity and equality here at the company. And I think since Jim and I came to Liquid Web in 2015, the percentage of women at the company has grown 400%. And the number, we now are almost 50-50 for women in leadership. And so it's been a great journey, and we're super proud of that. We don't shy away from it either.
It feels really good to be in a role in tech where women aren't the minority in a business. And so, yeah, the work that you've done shows, and truly appreciative of what allows those of us who are also women in the company to be able to hold the positions we do and not just have to say yes all the time, but also be able to bring our creativity and our ideas and be heard. And I think that's super important. So thank you for that.
Well, at the end of the day, we're a meritocracy. So performance matters, and you hire the best people for the job and you give them a voice and let them show their creativity, and good things happen. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what does a typical day, your schedule is crazy because we've been trying to get on together for a while, and like your schedule, my schedule, whatever, but your schedule is insane. So tell me, like, what do you do? Like, what does a typical day look like for Carrie Wheeler?
well, it's funny. Sometimes, people think in my position, I probably control my own calendar, but really, I don't always control my own calendar. There's a lot of context switching. There's a lot of things that come up last minute, but in general, I have a philosophy that you should approach your time, right? Your time is the most valuable thing that you have, and my time is the most valuable thing I have to give to this company in terms of where I focus and how I help the team and how I help our customers. And so I start each week and each day purposefully, right? So I always feel like I should spend a percentage of my time with customers, a percentage of my time on strategy, and a percentage of my time on making sure the operations are running smoothly. And that varies day to day. In any one day, today I have this podcast that we're doing, which is great. And then I'm meeting with some potential investors. And then I have a really interesting call later with a potential client and our legal team to see if we can come to terms on some advanced security options that they require. And then, it's December, so I'll have some budget meetings later today. And then anything can happen along the way, right? A customer escalation. Our investors might give me a call and have a question. So, but in general, I spend most of my time either working on our strategic plans, making sure we're executing or helping the team break down barriers to execute on really important product development initiatives or strategic initiatives, and spending time with my team and doing some development and coaching. So, generally my calendar is, every 30 minutes from say 8:30 to 6:30, most days. And my time's very fluid. I don't really do the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 thing. I sort of, I'm sort of like support 24/7, 365. So you just sort of have to stay flexible.
I remember when I was like a previous career when I was working in higher education and I ran a team at the University of Rochester. And I said to my daughter, she's like, well, can you come to this tonight or whatever? She was like maybe 8 or 9 at the time. I said, oh, I can't. I have a work engagement. She goes, but you're the boss. Don't you have people to do those things for you? And I said, oh, honey, that's not how it works. When you're the boss, you have all the responsibilities.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, well, first of all, everybody has a boss. So,
Yeah,
it's cool to have the responsibility I do. And I'm really, proud of the team. But I have a boss, my boss has a boss, and they have a boss too. And so you just have to sort of roll with that.
absolutely. In 2022, 2021, 2022, there was like a counter going on at Post Status of all the acquisitions that were happening in WordPress. And there seemed to be just like, and we were involved in that quite a bit. As a matter of fact, that's when I came on board with GiveWP. So over the last few years, Liquid Web has acquired quite a few WordPress products. What's the impetus for Liquid Web to be all in on WordPress and WordPress products? And WordPress hosting, that kind of stuff. Can you give us a little bit of the background for that?
Yeah, it's been a great journey. I think, when I first came to Liquid Web, I really didn't know much, if anything, about WordPress. I was really what I would consider a complete newbie in that ecosystem. And one of the things that Jim and I have always focused on in the businesses that we've had is it all starts with your customer, right? What is your customer doing on your platform? Why do they spend their hard-earned money with you? And so the first year we were here, we went into great lengths to understand what our customers were using our hosting platform for. And what we found is, over 50% of the workloads on our core hosting, whether it was dedicated servers or VPS, were running WordPress. And so really we sought to understand and started meeting people in the ecosystem of WordPress, talking to our customers, many of which our customers were influencers in the ecosystem. And so we really started learning about that and decided, well, if 50% of our customers at a minimum are running WordPress, then we should be engaged in that ecosystem. And the more we learned about it, the more we loved it, right? It's creative. It runs 43% of the sites on the internet. I mean, it's a massive ecosystem full of creative, professional, interesting people. And our small businesses depend on it, right? They run on it and they depend on it, and helps them pay their bills and put food on their table. And so it's a really important sort of what I would call cultural and technical ecosystem that's very fascinating. And so we, and then part of our strategy has always been, we help businesses online make money online. And there's so many ways to do that in the WordPress ecosystem, whether you're a designer, a developer, a creator, a freelancer, or you're a small business leveraging that technology. So we did a ton of research. We expanded our footprint in our cloud platform to run WordPress, WooCommerce, and even Magento as well. And when we started learning about that, we identified the top 20 reasons or types of sites and stores that people are building on the internet. And we believe that technology trends towards simplification and abstraction. And we started coming across all of these wonderful plugin companies that had one goal in mind, and that was to make WordPress easier, right? To facilitate the continued growth of WordPress as a platform. And so we made a list and a framework of the top reasons that developers and businesses are trying to make money online using WordPress. And then we set out a strategy to go acquire them, right? It's all the reasons you would think. It's e-commerce, it's donations, it's learning, it's ticketing and event management. It's personal use, right? So there's all sorts of reasons, but we had a really distinct strategy and went to acquire those, all in an effort to make WordPress easier to use for the community. And that's a journey, not a destination. We're still working on that, but that's really how it evolved. And we couldn't be more pleased to have StellarWP, a culmination of really, really, really impressive products that help the ecosystem.
Yeah, obviously, I agree, because I continue to work here and love the things that we do. One of the things that impresses me, I will tell you, I was freelancing, right? So between my career in higher education and coming to work at Give and now at Stellar, I freelanced for 5 years. And I probably was using WordPress for at least 6 years before I even knew there was a community, like an ecosystem. Yes, right? Like I was buying plugins, I did that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the community is what I think elevates us beyond just an ecosystem where people are buying and selling and things like that into this amazing, just weird, wonderful group of people all over the world. And what I think is impressive, and I'm not blowing sunshine up your skirt because this is true, but what I really think is impressive is that you go to WordCamps. I've seen you at WordCamps. I've watched you talk to not looking over people's shoulders to see who's impressive that you can talk to, but who wants to talk to you, and our regular customers, and hey, this person just has their blog, not this multi-million-dollar website. And I love watching you be like in the community and doing those things. So thank you for being that person who really does care.
I really enjoy it. I mean, the thing is, I learn the most from talking directly to folks like that. I'm just always fascinated by what people are trying to do and accomplish. And so that's where you really learn the most, and you just meet really cool people to add to your kind of network of humans, I guess. So I enjoy it. I really enjoy. I don't get to go to a lot of the local ones. I've been to Birmingham and Atlanta when they're close to here. Of course, I was in San Antonio a couple of years ago. So I don't get to go as many local ones as
Yeah.
I'd like to, but certainly the larger ones get quite a bit.
Before we continue with the rest of our questions, you've mentioned Jim a couple times. For people who are listening who don't know who Jim is, can you just tell us who Jim is so that I don't forget to introduce Jim?
Yeah. So Jim Geiger, he's our CEO or Chief Executive Officer of it's kind of a new organization called Cloud One Digital. We, as everyone knows, Liquid Web, that's traditional hosting products. We have Nexus, which is a really good e-commerce platform, and then we have our Stellar brands, and so that makes Modern Tribe that makes up our Liquid Web brand. But we also have some other really large companies within our holding company. Servers.com we acquired in April of 2023, and they're primarily focused in Europe. They do really large scale bare metal platforms. So Jim is my boss. He's our CEO.
Back to that, everybody has a boss, right?
Everybody has a boss. I have a great one. And speaking of advancing women in technology, he's been my champion for 15 years now. And so that's who Jim is. So when I talk about Jim, he's my boss and partner. We've been together so long now that we've gone through this journey together. And so he just, where he goes, I go, and vice versa. So he kind of, rolls off my tongue without thinking that people might not know who he is.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that we mentioned who he was. When you think about Liquid Web and StellarWP, of course, because that's my little corner of, it's not little, but that's my corner of Liquid Web. What do you think makes us such a great place to work?
Well, I think people talk about culture a lot, and it's hard to put your finger on that. To me specifically is, we have a super simple philosophy, and that is we want to work with smart people that we like. Right. And I think what really makes this a great place to work is we've amassed a team of people at every level in the organization that are curious, that love technology, that love solving problems, that do hang up the phone from their day at work and then start doing technology as a hobby, right? We're very adventurous when it comes to being technologists, and I've always been fascinated by it. And so what I really enjoy about our ecosystem, whether you're in Stellar and focused on WordPress, or you're an engineer and hosting, working on cloud infrastructure, everybody is passionate about technology, and they're super smart and curious. And one of the things we try to be is most helpful humans in hosting, and we strive to do that for our customers, but we strive to do that internally as well. And we're not always perfect at that. It is work after all. It can be stressful and at times, but I think for me, it's the shared passion for technology, the fact that we have smart, curious people, and that the foundation of every interaction we have is we start with respect. So I think everyone has a lot of respect for each other, regardless of whether, regardless of your role or what you're focused on. And I think that makes a difference. And the way that I've seen that play out so interestingly this year is, before 2023, Stellar was a separate kind of business unit from Liquid Web, and Modern Tribe was a separate agency. And this year we decided to bring those teams together, and it's frankly been magical. It's been
amazing.
Yeah, the interaction between the teams and the learning, and it's influenced our product strategy. It's just, when you put smart people together who have a passion about technology, magical things happen. And so I think that's what I love about being here, and that's what I think makes us different.
So I 100% agree with all of that. Of course, I love our Stellar team. I don't have as much opportunity to interact with some of the other teams that we have, just because, we're in our work bubbles and things like that. But I will tell you a quick story is I host with Nexus. So I've got several websites hosted on Nexus, and I didn't understand how to make something happen. So I had to access support, and it's not because something was going wrong. So I want to say that right off that it was incredibly user error, but that's okay. And so I opened a chat through my portal, as a customer, and the person at the other end had no idea who I was and that I worked for the company and things like that. And I got incredible support, incredibly clear instructions, and was able to follow up. And then afterwards, I pinged the person in Slack. I'm like, hey, that was me. I just want to thank you for the great thing. I gave you a 5-star review also, but, kind of thing. So it's really nice to know. Yeah. So even not knowing that you're an internal person, you're getting incredible care through the support team. And I thought that was pretty cool. So wanted to share that with you too.
It's funny. I call into support every once in a while for a variety of reasons. And I keep telling our support team, you guys need to give me an authentication code, because we're very focused on security, and I'll call in and, not everybody, hi, this is Carrie Wheeler. Not everybody, knows that they're like, you have an authentication code. I'm like, no, I work here. And I just need you to transfer me to someone, or I was just testing our, response time. And but it is amazing because, I get someone different every single time, and it's always enjoyable.
It reminds me of, I can't remember who it was, but there was a comedian who was locked out of his own show. He's 30 minutes late to his own show because the people at the back door didn't know who he was, and he didn't have a ticket to get him through the front door. So how you're treated at that particular point of time is how everybody's treated, right? So
I'm the problem. It's me.
I promise I am who I say I am. That's wonderful. I love that. So when you look back over the last year, what are some things that have happened at Liquid Web that I'm going to use the word delighted? I love the word delighted, but what has delighted you over the last year?
Well, I think, oh gosh, I know I've already talked about it, but I have gotten the opportunity to lead the Stellar team this year, and that has been a delight. Just, I knew people sort of, I'd see people at WordCamps and I knew them, but I didn't get a chance to work with them and learn from them. And that's been amazing. The Modern Tribe team, which is, our agency that we own, they've been working on rebranding Liquid Web. So Intent, new brand coming up in 2024, and watching them interplay with our hosting team and our Stellar team. That's been amazing. I mean, and it's elevated everybody. Like, everyone is so much more engaged working with new, talented, fresh ideas. So that's been a delight. We've launched some new products, and we've used some different methodology to launch products, and seeing how it's engaged our technology teams. That has been a delight. I think, I in my role, mostly I get problems, right? Somewhere, something in my world is breaking right now. So I mostly get problems, but I also get really interesting feedback, and customers reaching out to me directly, just telling me personally how what we did changed the trajectory of their business, and therefore their livelihood. And so that is always super delightful. I think too, just, with all this change, we've also given so many team members new opportunities, and just watching people step into roles and grow in their career is just, it's really, really rewarding for me to watch folks step up. And I don't know if anyone watches The Bear. I'm in season 2, and I won't give anything away.
Love it.
But yeah, I watched it and I was like, do I like it? I don't know. I'm stressed. It's great. There's acting. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm in season 2, and one of it is one of the chefs offers one of the kitchen staff a kind of a bigger job, and the smile on her face and the pride was just like, I was like, that's it. That's the magic right there. Just, believing in folks. And so I think that's that's the thing that's delighted me. I have a lot of new people in my life, and so that's been amazing. The acquisition of servers.com has given us geographic expansion. That's been
Mhm.
very, very cool. Um, and I would say also getting to go to Greece was very cool.
Greece
Like
was awesome. Yeah.
Europe was pretty cool. Like I jumped off that we did the boat and the agency for the team, which was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. And we jumped off the top of the boat. So that was delightful.
Very fun. Absolutely. Yeah, I had never been to Europe. That was my first trip to Europe. And so it was all new. And I have to say the food was amazing. Like I've always loved Greek food, but having it in Greece, I'm it's like I'm ruined forever. It was so
Yeah,
amazing.
it was delicious. And
Hmm.
seeing some of those artifacts and just being like these artifacts are, well, I'm going to mess up the years, but they're 10 times older than America, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Really.
exactly. We say that we have an old house and it's 200 years old, and people in Europe just laugh.
Yeah. It's like you watch and you're like, this wall was built in 1486. You're like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, that's a little older. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little older.
a little older for sure. No, I think that's great. I also just this year has been amazing to watch people grow. The way that we've redistributed, with across Stellar and bringing in Modern Tribe and all of that has just allowed our teams to just grow. And it's just been
Mhm.
amazing to watch new people come in and to see people just take ideas and run with them. And yeah, it's been pretty awesome for sure. Absolutely. Very cool stuff. So, without giving away any secrets, although you did say rebrand, and I have to tell you, like my brain first went to, ooh, new swag, because we all love a new rebrand and a fresh
I
mug.
just put a line item in the budget for that. I'm like, don't forget, everybody's going to want a t-shirt.
That's right. That's right. But without giving away any real secrets that you can't talk about yet, you could tell me afterwards, though. We'll keep it between us.
Okay.
What are you excited about with the future of Stellar and Liquid Web?
Well, I think 2024 is for us is going to be a year of transformation. Um, and we have a number of new products that we're going to be introducing into the ecosystem. One of them in the Stellar world is coming out this week. Intent,
Ooh.
come get that out this week, please, sir. Um, so the new product strategy is, I'm super excited about that. And there'll be some really interesting things coming out about our brands, about our product strategy, how they all fit together. We are very focused on AI. And I know there's a lot, it right now it's AI is the answer. What's the question? But our philosophy is that, while a lot of people can worry about AI taking over the world, we're going to worry about how AI can do what we want it do the things that complement our strategy, right? Which is improve our service to our customers and make WordPress easier, right? And so we're going to leverage it in a number of ways. We've got some really cool capabilities already introduced with LearnDash. You'll see that come out with Cadence. And we think that there's ways to really accelerate building sites and stores, leveraging AI, and really accelerate and simplify the support and service we give our customers. So you'll see a lot come out from that with us. Um, and I think one of the things I do worry about the WordPress platform is, there are a number of competitors that have come on strong, and while they don't have near the penetration in terms of number of sites and stores that they have that they're supporting, their growth rate is significantly higher than WordPress in general. And so I do think that as a community interested in furthering WordPress, we have to figure out ways to make it easier to use. Now, there's always going to be, and there should be, those folks who want all the power and flexibility and customization and capability. That's never going to go away. And that is good for a certain set of sites and stores. But new entrants coming in to the ecosystem, particularly what I'm interested, which is small and mid-sized businesses, they need it easy. They need it cost effective. And right now, we've seen this in some of our efforts. You get a customer on the platform, and if they can't figure out how to use it easily, they go to a different platform. And so you're going to see a lot in our strategy about continuing to make WordPress easy, leveraging AI and integrating our tools, and providing more help and support for new entrants to learn how to use the platform.
I think that's great. I saw somebody post, and first of all, I don't remember the company, and I wouldn't out them even if I did, but they said something along the lines of that they're this hidden gem in WordPress. And I thought, we're not hiding anything. Why are you hidden? Right? Like, I think we do a really good job of not hiding how great we are, right? Because like, sing it. Like, if you own it, own it.
Well, at the end of the day, we are a business, right? And so it's hard to make money if you're hidden, but
exactly.
Strategy.
I went to, this is way back, maybe 10, 15 years ago. I was sitting at a business type training that I'd been to. And the first question the person said is, who in this room considers your business the hidden gem in your region? And like, everybody's hand went up, and they're like, why are you hidden? And we all were like, oh, like this big, like, paradigm shift kind of thing happened right then and there. So I was like, don't hide. And yeah, I think when you talk about there's more than WordPress, and how do we make WordPress accessible, things that we've been doing, like Learn-Cloud, for example, like, yeah, maybe you have built this incredible site on a platform that isn't WordPress, but you want to use Learn Dash. So you can link to your Learn-Cloud site. That's phenomenal. That is a way that we can be integrating with other platforms for people who have like spent time and money and energy not to have to just trash their site and move something else to use our product. So I love that kind of innovation. I think we're really doing a good job there.
Yeah, I think, when you think about WordPress, and kind of the old days, less now, you've got to like, okay, well, I want to use the application. Now I need to pick a host. So I have to pick a plan. Then I have to install my WordPress. And then I have to figure out my plugins. And then I have to, well, then what do I do? Right. So I do think that this whole abstraction from hosting, and hosting being included in your initial experience, I think is critical. And we're certainly down that road aggressively.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. So what else do you want to share with our audience? I'm sure there's things you would like to talk about that I didn't think to ask you. What would those be?
Well, I would say, oh gosh, that's a good question. I think a couple things. One is engage in the ecosystem, right? I mean, 2024, we're past COVID. Hopefully travel costs will start to come down, but really engage in the community. Go to the WordPress events, and invite people that are not just part of the active community, right? Like, so often I'll go to a WordPress event, and it's great to see everybody that we know, but what I'd really love to see is, hey, how are we bringing, the WordPress community can be a little bit tight, right? Even though it's massive, there's a lot of people that are in it and know it, and interact consistently. How do we take that and broaden it to the broader set of users and interdependent and folks? And how do we collectively, while respectively competitively, I suppose, work to make WordPress easier, right? How do we compete against Shopify and Wix and Weebly, and make it compelling, right? And not necessarily in an inorganic way, or I'm sorry, in an organic way, but in a coordinated fashion, right? I think that's important for us to think about as a group of interested parties. So I think maybe there's something there, I would say, is how do we reach out, and maybe people aren't, don't join the community as fervently as you and I do, but we've expanded the ecosystem a bit. So I would say engagement is super important. And I would say, continue looking for ways to, integrate the hosting component, make the onboarding easier. I think that's what I would say.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Some of the things that I think are exciting about this next year as well is I know that we're going to have a presence at WordCamp Asia, WordCamp Europe. I'm sure we'll be wherever it's good. They haven't told us yet where WordCamp US will be. Maybe by the time we actually put this episode online, we'll have heard. I don't know. I'm hoping and then within the next week, we'll know where WordCamp US will be next year. And I know that we will absolutely have a presence at those places as well. And I agree. I love meeting people that I don't already know. And I often say, I have so many friends in WordPress. I have friends all over the world in WordPress, but I love when somebody comes up to me who I don't know and says, can you tell me this or can you tell me that? And I'll even tweet beforehand, like, if I don't know you, please come say hi. Because I know everybody else. Yeah. Like I know I can say hi to them anytime, but I want to meet you. Right. Exactly. Like if I'm sitting, there's room at my table, plop yourself down in that chair because I want to know who you are too.
That's right. And what problem you're trying to solve. Like how can we help you solve that problem? Yep. Because that's the fun part, is helping people solve the problem that they're trying to do, because it's always about something new and interesting. And so yeah, I as we were talking before the podcast, I would like to try to make Asia. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I have it on my calendar to go to Torino. So that, and then I always go to WordCamp US. So wherever that will be. So that would be fun. I think that's, if you have the good fortune to be able to go to one of those, but also, take care, engage in the local ones too, because actually the local ones, I think are great for a training bed, right? I love those. The thing about those is all the breakout sessions are really about learning how to use the tool. So those are really cool.
Yeah. And I know you know this, but for people who don't know this, so many of the Liquid Webbers and Stellarians, I call us Stellarians, I don't know if that's the right word, actually not only speak at local WordCamps, but are integral to running those. So a lot of us are on on the organizing teams or lead organizing those. I'm also a mentor for other camps. So I helped several other camps this year make sure that they did what they needed to get up. We have a lot of people, probably, I don't know, at least 70 people that I can name right off the bat that are speaking at and helping make sure that those local events and meetups are running. So yeah, and I love that we support that within with what we do.
Super Absolutely. Proud. And amazed by your work, by the way. You're just
thanks. I really, it's one of those things where you look back and you see how you've been able to achieve what you've been able to achieve. And that's never because I set out on a trek alone. It's always because other people joined me and bolstered me and taught me. And I feel a big responsibility, but not in a negative way, right? A responsibility to help others to achieve what they want to do with WordPress as well. So if I can be part of that journey, that makes me happy. So
that's amazing. I'm amazed every day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, it's been so awesome to have this opportunity. You and I don't get an opportunity very often to just sit and chat. So it's really nice to actually have that time with you today and to dig a little deeper and learn some things that even I didn't know about. And
thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for inviting me. It's been great. I appreciate it. And it's good to see your face. And
yes, likewise.
Everybody has a great end of 2023 and a wonderful 2024.
Absolutely. And we're going to have you back at the end of every year to do a capstone. So
let's do that.
Well, yeah, let's get it on the calendar now for next year so we can switch it 3 or 4 times with whatever happens in the schedule.
That's right. Let's do it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Carrie. And for everybody, happy holidays. And we'll see you all in 2024.
Bye-bye.
WP Constellations is a production of StellarWP, home of the events calendar, LearnDash, GiveWP, Cadence, Iconic, SolidWP, Orderable, and Restrict Content Pro. Learn more about the Stellarverse at StellarWP.com.